Hey everyone, welcome. I know that we're gonna see, wow, our participants. Y'all are just flying in. While you are waiting for this to start, if you want to throw your name, where you're from in the chat, make sure it's to everybody, not just one person or not just the panelists. We want everyone to know where you're coming from. If you want to throw your LinkedIn in there too, I'll toss mine in. Let's start connecting with each other. We're probably going to get started here in the next few minutes. Hey, Kurt from Boston. Welcome. Tyler, where are you from?
Katie, I'm coming in from just outside of Toronto. So
Okay.
we have this beautiful blanket of fluffy white snow. I have to force myself to say beautiful to keep me smiling when I see the snow out there. But it's beautiful here in my office. So let's just go with that.
Are we not a snow fan?
Well, yeah, I mean, once you get into the winter, then it's like this is great. But this is, it's that transition period where you're just still hanging on. It's like it's like that prospect that hasn't been responding to you, and you're just like, you've got that sense of hope, like maybe tomorrow it'll be warmer, and then it doesn't warm back up, and then you get on with life, and then you enjoy
I love that. That's what I like to call hopium. Is
it.
living on that hopium. Maybe it'll happen.
That's
Surely it'll
right.
close. I have faith this deal may close. It may have been in the pipeline for 2 years, but I still think there's hope. They did respond to an email, so we have that hopium.
There you go. Well, don't worry, everybody. There's a lot of remedies for hopium here in this session. I'm so stoked for this one, Katie. We're tons of attendees, and folks, remember
All
when you
over
drop
the
a
world.
message into the chat, change your to field from all panelists to all panelists and attendees, so that everybody can hear where you're from, except for you, Dan, in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, because nobody else needs to hear the fact that you've got 80 degrees and a margarita glass. That you can keep to yourself. Thank you.
My favorite type of margarita glass is the full one. So, wow, we have people from all over the world here. We've got Swiss. Oh my gosh, love Zurich. That is one of my favorite places to go. If you've never been, it is absolutely beautiful and one of the cleanest places I've ever been. I was shocked by that. We have people from Pat's coming in from Kansas, a lot of Colorado natives. I know you guys just got a big snow a couple weeks, maybe a week ago, I think it was.
We got
I
Jackie from Montreal and Derek from Calgary here. We got the Canadians representing in the house. Lots of folks from Toronto. Welcome, you guys. We're going to kick off here in a few seconds. But speaking of one of my favorite cities, I just see we have from Heidelberg, Germany, Gigi has joined us. Heidelberg is probably one of the most beautiful cities I've been to, with the castles and the river, and
love.
oh, it's just spectacular.
You know what? I've always wanted to go to Germany. I found out that I'm like half German, half Italian. So you can imagine our family holidays are extremely exciting. And very interactive. But I met my husband in Switzerland. I was out in Europe for an SKO, and I was so disappointed because the architecture just didn't look like how I pictured it. Well, it turns out
Mm,
I was thinking of Germany the whole time.
right.
So that was a slightly expensive mistake, but still fine. So we've got Germany on our to-do list. Okay, well let's just get started on this.
Yes.
Um, okay, well my name is Katie Ray. I'm the community engagement manager over here at Sales Hacker. We are so thrilled to have you, Tyler, a part of this conversation today. And I'm just going to let you kick off, but just a reminder for all of our attendees, on the bottom bar you're going to see a Q&A box. In there, throw your questions. Anything that you want to know an answer to, toss it in there. We're going to be answering them throughout the session today. Just a reminder, this will be recorded. Okay. So within 24 hours or so after the event, you're going to be getting the recording. So if you have to drop early, we get it, no worries. But definitely throw your questions in the Q&A box. And Tyler, I'm just going to let you kick it off. So
Oh, fantastic. All right. Thank you, Katie. So let's hop right into this. I am genuinely stoked, as we talked about earlier, to be here for this session, to talk about some of the things that I've learned, and I think the community as a whole has learned over the last 12 months, really, of this idea of using video as part of outbound prospecting. And it's not just the idea of video and prospecting, but what has emerged as some of the top techniques, approaches, and templates that different sellers have been using, proven ways that they're standing out in the inbox, booking more meetings, and ultimately helping to generate more pipelines. So in this session, I am going to walk you through a bunch of examples. I've got about a dozen different video template examples to talk through here today. So get ready to do lots of screen captures. As Katie mentioned, you will get a recording to it afterwards. And if you do want a copy of this slide deck, just connect with me on LinkedIn afterwards, and I'm happy to send you one. So without further ado, let's hop into it. And I'm just going to spend the first few minutes level setting everybody on this idea of using video in prospecting and what that really means and how it is that people are doing it today for anyone out there that isn't yet already doing this. So all of us out there know these most common ways that today most sales reps are doing outbound prospecting. Now that we can't show up at the office in person, we can't meet people out at events, these are the main tactics and channels that most sellers are using today. Of course, phone calls, typical cold emails when they can grab an email address from somebody, and social connects, which hopefully you're not just pitching right away in your initial connection note, you're actually connecting with them, following, and then eventually reaching out. But these are the main channels that most people are using today. And the great thing about video, for those not using it yet, is that it's not actually a whole new channel unto itself. It's a new way to use these channels, at least email and social. Some can argue that a FaceTime call is a video version of voice. If some of you are using it yet, I don't know, a little risky. But video and email and video and social are becoming these super effective ways to heighten your message, to put your face out there, to engage people in different ways. That's ultimately resulting in higher response rates, faster meetings booked, and better results overall for a lot of sellers today. So these are just examples, visual examples of what that might look like of including a video message in an email or a video message in a LinkedIn one-to-one message to a first connection. So how are people actually doing this? For those of you not yet using video in either your email or your social outreach, here's a really quick summary of how people are doing it today. On the email side, there are great tools like Vidyard. Yes, there are others. We're not the only one, but I'm a little bit biased towards Vidyard. That make it super simple to record a video, drop the thumbnail image into an email, and send it over to somebody as a hyperlinked asset. Now, in this case, the important thing is you're not actually attaching a video file because that would get caught through spam and wouldn't work. So what Vidyard makes it easy to do is record a video using your webcam, using a screen share, or also using your smartphone, and then having the thumbnail image for that video dropped into the email message sent to an individual. When they watch your video on the other end, you get a notification back to let you know this person viewed your video and they watched it 20%, 50%, or 100% of the way through. It actually acts as an extension to Chrome, so it's really easy. It also has a plugin directly into Gmail, Outlook, and lots of other typical sales tools. So that's just a really quick summary there. And if you aren't yet using it, you can sign up for free, try it out, vidyard.com/free, have at it. So that's way number one. Way number two for social is you've got two options. One is you can use a tool like a Vidyard, record your video, and then send the link to that video via LinkedIn message. The second is to actually use LinkedIn's mobile app, which does allow you to record a video natively and send it directly to somebody who is a first connection of yours. So we're seeing more and more reps do this, and it's great. Both techniques work. The advantage of using LinkedIn native is that the video plays back natively in their feed. So as soon as they click it, it just plays back right in their message list. The benefit of using a tool like Vidyard is that when you record the video, you can actually send it across other channels as well. So if you want to use that same video and send it via email, it also gives you the ability to get notifications when they watch. So just depends on your preference in some cases, but both tools can work extremely well to get your message out there. Okay, is everybody okay? Katie, is anybody in the Q&A or chat saying, I still don't get it? How do I send video messages?
So I think what we're seeing is one, everybody wants to know, what camera are you using?
You know what, folks? I am going to tell you at the end of this session what my camera setup is, exactly what I'm using. So I sure hope you can stick around until the end, and I will reveal all magic tricks at that time.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, you'd be surprised. We've got a lot of questions about that.
Well, this is great because it means all of you are paying attention to the little things which make a difference in video. I use this same video setup for my prospecting videos, my Zoom calls, obviously, and everything I'm doing now. And it harkens back to this idea of we're all in a video world now. So it's not a bad time to get your setup going, right? And to figure out even beyond just a basic webcam, we're in this. So anyway, I will share with you at the end of this exactly what my setup looks like.
And I know that we're going to jump into how to leverage videos and prospecting. Are we going to be able to spend any time on how to leverage Vidyard and LinkedIn stories by chance? Is that an option? Where are we at with that?
Yeah, LinkedIn Stories. It's not something that we would typically cover in here. I think I could just really quickly address the notion that on social you have the ability to send one-to-one videos, of course, to somebody directly who's a
Mhm.
first connection, and you can do that in your LinkedIn messages. Other ways people are using video on LinkedIn include recording and sharing stories via LinkedIn Stories, which is new and interesting. That, of course, doesn't tend to be a one-to-one thing. That tends to be
Yep.
something you post, and hopefully people in your community will discover it. It's a great way to share a little bit more just like personal behind the scenes, what's going on with you, stuff that people that are following you, it gives them a chance to get a little bit behind the scenes and create a more personal connection with you. I think it's really good for that.
Okay.
And then the other way, of course, is just recording. We'll talk a little bit about this as well, is recording videos that you then post on your LinkedIn feed as part of posts that are, again, one to many posts that allow you to build your brand, share your ideas, and actually generate some more inbound leads that way by building your community.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, Tyler.
All right. So we are about to hop into a dozen different video templates. And what I want to preface this with is what are the benefits of video and what do I think make a great video? And this is a bit of a checklist of what I use. And when you look at all these different templates, when you create videos, hopefully these are the things that you're bringing through in your videos. Because it's not just another way to read your voicemail script to a customer, right?
Hmm.
The real power in video is first and foremost your ability to be personal, to be human, to be authentic, and to actually, connect with them as a real person. And that goes a long way. Them now associating your email address with an actual human being creates all sorts of different things in our brain that change the way that we expect to interact with you. So that's the first thing, is being human and personal. The second is the opportunity to use your body language, use your personality, use intonation in your voice, things that you typically would in a face-to-face conversation that you're not able to inject into text-based emails and social messages. And so I encourage you folks, as you do some of these videos I'm going to show you, is that you're always mindful of that, right? Again, if you're like me, I'm a passionate, energetic kind of guy, in case you haven't noticed. And so my videos, I really harness that. And when I make videos, I'm all in, right? And I'm like, hey, it's Tyler here. You know what? I really want to help you. And I genuinely believe I can. And I put that out there, right? For some of you, whatever it is, whatever your kind of driving thing is, embrace that and let it come through on video. And it makes a big difference. The third is the opportunity to use visuals. And a lot of these templates, that's what we're going to focus on, are different styles of visuals that you can use, which again, you can't do with voicemails and emails and social messages. You can see the example on the right here where Morgan Gillespie, formerly an SDR at Terminus, now I think she's CEO at Salesforce by this point, I think. She is, in this video, you can very clearly see she's using a whiteboard to get that person's attention that she made this just for them. And she's holding up a bottle of an IPA, a beer, not because she's a heavy drinker. I talked to her about this. I was like, Morgan, what's going on here? But it was because when she was doing research on a prospect, she found on their social profiles that they were a craft beer fanatic. And so she was showing one of her favorite craft beers, and she used that as a way to initiate the conversation. But the visuals there matter, right? And they come through in a very different way. Fourth is you're demonstrating effort and commitment. And this just comes through in the fact that you're making a custom video for a prospect. Once you get good at it, it's actually easier than writing an email, which is a bit of the secret behind it. But a lot of people, again, they'll engage with this, they'll respond partly because they feel like you actually put in effort to researching them, to communicating with them, and they owe it to you to respond. Hey, it's a powerful motivator. And the last thing, which is really a combination of a lot of these, is that video is a pattern disrupt. It is a way to change up the flow. Most people aren't getting videos in their inbox. They're not getting videos on social. It is your chance to be that one that stands out, forces them to take a look. And again, a year or two from now, we're all going to be like, oh, not another video, right? But right now, this is fresh, this is new, this is still novel. It's your chance to be at the bleeding edge of it. Okay, here we go, folks. We are ready to dive into about a dozen different video templates. Get your screen captures ready, get your notes ready. Here we go. And I am going to show you a few of these as we go through, so I don't just talk about them. Some of them I'll actually play for you to show you how some people have executed them. Okay, so the first is the most classic, typical style of video that most sellers use today, which is the webcam selfie style video, where you're putting yourself on camera and you're delivering your message, which is typically your pretty common message, similar to what you would use in email prospecting or a video or a voicemail. This is something where you're quickly introducing yourself, the reason that you're reaching out, the benefit that you think you can offer them, and then a call to action at the end. Now, again, this by far is the most common type of video used by sellers today. It can be just you on camera, like the one in the top left of your screen there. It can be you using some form of physical prop to get their attention. And you see again in the bottom left, common examples of using something like a whiteboard to write a custom message for an individual prospect. Or in the case of the other one, Evergreen Home Loans, that's a video that Alana recorded for multiple prospects at the same account. But when they get it, they know visually that it was made just for them because of their name on the whiteboard. And then they go in and deliver their message. It's really just a transition point to get their attention. There are other things you can do here, but this is, again, the most common. There's a sample script here. At Vidyard, we have a document of all sorts of different sample video scripts to go along with some of these examples that I'm happy to share with you as well if you connect with me afterwards.
Now, Tyler, I've got a question for you. You
Yeah,
said
Katie.
that this is one of the most popular types of video, right? Where have you seen, or what feedback have you gotten on when is the best time to use
Hmm.
video? So I know it kind of sounds like maybe this is good for like your first touch
Yep.
or email. Like, where do you put this in your sales sequence?
Yeah, so there's some common best practices for that, and I'm going to share with you some important golden nuggets here. So get those fingers and pens ready. So if you have let's just say, for example, you have a 15 touch sales cadence that you're using for outbound prospecting, which is a combination of emails, phone calls, social messages. And that takes place over, let's say, 45 days, whatever it happens to be. Common practice is start your sequence not with a video, shocking. Start it with a regular email message. Minimize, don't have any links in it if possible, don't have images, to make sure you don't immediately get caught by somebody's spam filter. So initially send them a plain regular email and make your phone call. And your phone call should say, sent you an email, blah, 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 leave a voicemail. The next part of your cadence, let's say it's day 3, that's the perfect time to now send an email with a video. And that's where you might do a selfie style video like this, where you're now putting your face to a name, creating that a little bit more human connection and introducing yourself. So that's the perfect time to use a video like this. And SalesLoft has a great report that shows how using video throughout a sequence impacts response rates. And what they found is that adding videos between the second and about 15th day of a sequence have a huge impact positively on your response rate. On average, it increases response rates by 26% using videos between days 2 and 15 of your sequence based on analyzing millions of emails. So really cool thing there. So I typically use this as on like day 3 or so as your second outreach. Mm-hmm. And then some of the other videos I'm going to show you are perfect to use kind of mid-sequence as you're now trying to get their attention in a different way with a different style of visual that's more about them and less about you, because this again looks and feels like it's a little bit more about you.
And just to confirm, I think you might have mentioned it early on. One of the benefits coming from Vidyard is that the videos are embedded, correct? You're not going to a link that's taking you someplace else, right?
No, it is a link.
Okay.
Because you can't embed the videos because that will either get caught by spam filters because it'll be too large, or it just doesn't play back natively. So the benefit is flipped, is that it is an image that's hyperlinked, so it won't get blocked. But what's also important to know, now that you bring it up, is that with a tool like Vidyard, you can add the thumbnail as a static image, and you can select that any point from your video you record. You can select what your thumbnail should be. You can also upload an image if you want to create a separate thumbnail. You can also create an animated GIF thumbnail. So when they see it in their email, it's actually like a 3 or 5 second looping little animated GIF. And you can get that from your video. So you can select a 3 to 5 second part, say, I want this to be my thumbnail. And those can work really well. And why you might see reps holding up a whiteboard and waving at the beginning of their video, because then that becomes a really cool little animated GIF that gets their attention.
Perfect. Thank you for that clarification.
All right. So this one's hopefully pretty straightforward. I'm going to go on to template number 2, which is the LinkedIn profile hover video. Now, this and many of the following ones are going to leverage screen sharing capabilities in video recording tools like Vidyard. So in the case of a tool like Vidyard, you can record your screen along with your webcam. And you can see in these examples, their webcams show up as a round bubble in the bottom left corner, and you can move it around on the screen wherever you want it. Now, one common tactic I see a lot of sellers now using is this here, where they will go to their prospect's LinkedIn profile and then hit record and make sure that their camera is also turned on. And they will then deliver a message that references something related to their LinkedIn profile, their role, their company, and uses that as a way to pivot into how it is that they can help or the main message they want to deliver. Now, the reason this works is when it shows up in their inbox, they see this thumbnail image of a video and they see their own LinkedIn profile with this person hovering over it talking about something, right? Like, how could you not click to watch? It's like, wait a minute, that's me. That's my profile. This person, you got to watch, right? It creates that pattern disrupt. It creates that kind of sense of curiosity. And I hear time and again from sellers that this works like magic, that they see really high response rates to these. But what I encourage you when you do them is don't just use the LinkedIn profile up as a way to catch their attention. Weave it into your messaging and then come up with sort of a template for what this video is for you. You can see I've got an example here where I might say, hi, Katie, I can see from your LinkedIn profile that you're responsible for being awesome at Sales Hacker. I'm reaching out because I'm working with several other people at Sales Hacker who are having a hard time breaking through the noise and getting responses to their outbound selling. I would love to see if that's right. So there's ways that you can weave your narrative into their title, their company, something that's up on the screen. So it feels like a natural part of your message. But once you figure that message out, you can do these videos in your sleep, right? You do them once, twice a day, and all of a sudden you're doing them 10, 20 times a day because it's the same message over and over, and it's really easy to do, and it becomes really, really effective. I'm going to show you one here from Kayla at Domino Data Lab, and to see how she weaves the messaging into it in a version of this. So let me click on this one here. We're going to pull that video on up. And I'm going to play this one for you folks. We may not play the whole thing. Let's see how it goes.
Hey, Nui. Thanks so much for connecting. I wanted to send you a quick video because I know you are an innovative thinker and a highly collaborative leader. And I consistently talk to other data science leaders, and what's top of mind for them is, I know you've saved over $3 million annually, and obviously saving cost is top of mind, but also what else is top of mind for them is workforce management and being able to track their different models that are running, being able to put their data scientists on the best, most valuable projects for those best and experienced data scientists, and having really management over that, but also the ability for data scientists to.
So I'll just pause it there. She goes on to continue her value prop and then close with a great call to action. Now, again, what you can see there that she did was she created that sort of relevance by explaining how the connection between his title and his role and what she can do. And it feels very natural. It doesn't feel like it was forced or something that was just meant to get their attention. So I think that's a great example. And again, you can figure out how to work this into your own messaging. All right. So that's template number 2. Template number 3, which I actually saw, I think it was Adam in the comments, actually say that he likes to go over an article related to that person or something like that instead of their actual LinkedIn profile. And that, in fact, is template number 3. So what this idea is instead of, again, going over their LinkedIn profile, and this doesn't have to be on LinkedIn, this can be on other websites or something, is to find an article that maybe they shared, maybe they wrote, a comment that they made on a post, or maybe a post that they made on their social channel. These are really easy to find, right? You just go to their LinkedIn profile, look at their activities, and find articles or posts or comments. And what you can do now is, again, start doing a recording where over top of that article, that post, that comment, and reference, again, how you loved their perspective, that you this or that, and then transition it into your message. Now, hopefully you're finding something that is, again, relatable to what you do or your value prop. So it's not just like, hey, Katie, saw your comment on that recipe online, and I totally love chocolate lava cake too. Oh, by the way, we've got a great video selling tool, right? Like that just doesn't feel good to anybody. Mm-hmm. But if, again, you had commented on an article related to your challenges as a sales rep, and I came in and said, loved your perspective on this. And by the way, this is something that, I think I might be able to help you or others do. Would love your feedback on it, right? It doesn't even have to be let's book a meeting. It's you seem to be smart. You know what you're doing. I'd love your feedback on what we're doing. So ways like that, you can weave your messaging into it. This was an example here where I was prospecting somebody named Justin, and I checked down his LinkedIn activities and I found Jeff Swan. Katie, didn't his name come up already earlier today? This is
Yes.
like worlds colliding. Totally coincidental. Jeff had mentioned Justin in one of his posts, and I then did a recording over top of that. And anyways, it all sort of trickled from there. And so that's something as well that you can think of as a way to create something that they'll visually recognize. Because if you made a video about a post they made or an article they commented on, right? Like that's super flattering to them. What it also does, this and the previous one, is you're inherently showing them that you've done your homework, right? Like they're like, oh, wow, this person found this article that like they don't necessarily consciously do it, but there's a recognition that goes on that this person has obviously done their homework. They've put in the effort. I have a greater expectation of value in talking to them. Even if I don't watch the video, I now have that relationship of like, wow, that person went the extra mile. They're going to go into on my nice list for now, not into my naughty list.
Well, and what would make them go into the naughty list? What I'm more specifically asking is,
Yeah.
how long is too long for these videos?
Yeah.
What's
So these kinds of outbound prospecting videos for a cold prospect, 45 to 60 seconds is 30 to 60 seconds, I'll say, is the target you want to shoot for. Ideally, you don't go over a minute, but 90 seconds is kind of your max. That last one from Kayla was about 1:20. She actually did a really nice job of getting a lot into that. So once you feel natural with it, but I'd say that 45, let's say to 90 seconds, aim for a minute if you can. Yeah.
And whenever we're looking at different industries, I know real estate loves these videos and their prospecting as well. Um, what does that success look like if you're going through different social media platforms?
Yeah.
Can it be used in other platforms, and how does that play out?
Yeah, it's interesting because you're right. It does depend on like where is your prospect. I've shown examples here from LinkedIn, but I mean, absolutely in your market, where you want to go is you want to find, obviously where they're active. You want to find where relevant content is that you can use as part of bringing into your story. And then, but then there's the big question, now how do I reach them? This is where, of course, email becomes the great, equalizer, and that if you can find their email address, you can record and send them an email directly with that video. Otherwise, on other social channels, it is just dependent, right, on those different channels. And most of them won't allow you to send somebody a direct message or a video unless you're actually connected, right? So that's always a thing to be mindful of. Once you do connect, that's a great time to then respond with a quick video and say, hey, thanks so much for the connection. Wanted to just quickly put a face to the name, and I can't wait to follow you, right? And if you do that, I encourage you not to pitch right away, but just make that very genuine, like, great to connect, can't wait to follow you. And then a little bit later on, you could send them something that, again, maybe relates to another article you saw and so on. So yeah, be smart about how you use those different channels for sure. Okay, so this again is one where that was a pretty specific example, but once you get a rhythm of it in your own prospecting, you'll find your own template, right? You'll go like, this is it, right? I go here, I find this kind of article, I hit record, and this is my message, right? Depending on your market, you'll find something repeatable. And these again become videos you can do in your sleep. Okay. Similar to the LinkedIn hover, but really important in the difference in how you use it, is the website hover video. Now, this is where you go to the website of the prospect that you're going after and record something on their website. Again, in a similar vein to the LinkedIn one, is using something that has some kind of merit or relationship back to what you're offering. Now, not everybody can necessarily do this because they may not have a solution that ties back to something that's on their website. And again, it can just feel like you're on their website for no good reason. But many of you out there, I bet you can find something on their website to use as a trigger point visually to then move into a conversation about what it is you do. So here's some examples. Our own team is very lucky, right? We sell a tool related to video. We also have a marketing solution for video hosting. So our reps will go on somebody's website and they will actually bring up a page with videos on it. And then they'll start recording and they'll say, notice you have these great videos, love it, flattery, flattery, flattery. But do you know how many people are watching, da, 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 da. So that becomes a very natural way for them to have that person's website up on the screen and explain how it is that you can help. Now, again, you may not sell a software product, you may not sell something related to something on their website, but you might be able to go to their resource center. Maybe they've written an article that's relevant for you to pop up on, maybe make some commentary and transition into your messaging. If you sell a solution related to HR or talent, right, go to their careers page, go to their About Us page with their executive team, figure out some way you can connect your message to something visual on their website. It might be, hey, you're on their About Us page and you see their executives and you say, hey, I noticed da 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 da. Well, we've got a great solution to help executives like them communicate with your employees. And what you're selling is some kind of internal comms tool, right? So think about some way, because the point of having their website up again is it's something they'll recognize and are more likely to click into. The one example here that I want to quickly play is from a seller named Lou Casados. And Lou did a really nice job here. He's got a bit of an advantage as well in that he sells a product that is, what does he actually do? It's called Channel Advisor is the company he's with. And they help with online, well, I don't know. Hey, let's let him pitch us. Let's see how he went from their website into what they do. So I'm going to click on this one here and ask my good friend Lou to take it away. And he's got a great thumbnail here. He actually uploaded this separate thumbnail. So Ghost is, well, again, let's hear him tell you.
$999, 1,000. Oh, hey there. Hey, Dan. Sorry about that. Got to get a pump in whenever you can. You know what I mean? Anyway, we've never met before. My name's Lou Casados, reaching out to you from Channel Advisor. Listen, I'm a huge fan of Ghost products. They've changed the way that I work out. And as far as I'm concerned, I want to get them into the hands of every single American who's in the gym. So that being said, you guys are having a big problem right now when it comes to Amazon advertising. So currently right now, your brand name is being what's called conquested on Amazon. But actually, you know what? Let me just show you. Hold on. Okay, and we're back. So, if I go to Amazon, right, just like 51% of Americans do when they're buying something, and I search Ghost.
So Lou goes on to show them, this is a bit of a longer one, but what Lou did there really well was, he tied in his message. So, it's weightlifting related. So he's a personal, weightlifter. So that worked really well for him. But he then, used their website to tie into, now let me show you how you show up on Amazon, and did a really smart transition there. And now he can actually show them the problem that they have. And so again, it was a really smart way to say, great, I'm going to bring their whey powder up on the screen, their website, so they recognize it. And then I'm going to talk about how that product is suffering on Amazon reviews. And he found this really smart way to do it. He actually sent this video to the CEO of that company. He got a response within 20 minutes and booked a meeting. And ultimately, I hope he closes it. Good luck, Lou. Good luck.
So something that I notice on here too is the title, Amazon Advertising Problem Ghost.
Right.
If I was a C-level exec, I'd be like, pardon my language, oh shit, what's wrong? How am I losing money? Why is there this problem, right? So whenever we're sending these videos through email or social, how much does the subject line affect or impact the likelihood that's going to be opened?
Yeah, and I've got some recommendations for this at the end, because you can make great videos, but if they don't get watched, it's all for naught. And so you absolutely have to be mindful of your subject line as well as your introductory copy, because those things make a huge difference. And then the thumbnail image, right? Those are the three variables you have to play with to get somebody to open and watch that video: subject, message body, and thumbnail image. That's also part of that when you're doing over email. When you're sending it directly on LinkedIn, again, you may want to consider introducing it. I've gotten videos from people where there's nothing else. It's just a random message with a video. And I'm like, I'm not watching. I'm not sitting here waiting to spend a minute, listen to somebody say something I don't know what, right? So I agree, it's important to set the context. But what's really cool is you can be a little bit fun and creative and different in how you craft your subject lines and your intro messaging when your video is a call to action. So I got a bunch of examples of those that I will share at the end.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so a couple of ideas there. And again, you want to take this back yourself and think about how might I be able to do a hover over their website. And again, once you figure out that muscle, it becomes repeatable for you in your own process. Number 5, ladies and gentlemen, is highlighting one of your successful customers that they will relate to very well. Now, in sales, we do this often, right? We send out testimonials or case studies from people in the same kind of role or persona as our prospect. But have you thought about recording a video to make it really crystal clear? So what I might do, 2 things. One is the top left is I've done a LinkedIn hover video, but over my customer. So that's not my prospect. That's one of my customers who has the same title as the prospect. So if I were going after, if Katie, if you were the head of revenue at Sales Hacker, I might record this video and again say, hey, Katie, I know this isn't your LinkedIn profile. This is actually Kyle, who's also a head of revenue. I'm working with him to solve this problem. Check out this video to learn more. And you hit play and I say, hey there, it's Tyler. Yep, this is good old Kyle Norton. Good buddy of mine now. In fact, as we've helped solve some real big problems for him, let me tell you about it. Right? The one on the bottom is similar, except instead I'm hovering over their actual case study on our own website. So that's where, again, I'm bringing it up. And now I'm using it as an anchor to tell his story in a minute, right? We're not telling the whole thing. We're doing a teaser. And then we're saying, I'd love to share a little bit more. Be happy to send you another video. Or in fact, keep watching and you'll see his full story. And you could actually do a playlist where the second video that plays back is an actual case study of them, right? So that's my pro tip at the bottom. And with Vidyard, you can do that. You can upload other videos into your account, and then you can actually create a playlist of your personal video plus those other ones. So again, this becomes a template, right? This isn't a one-off. This is like, you can do this repeatedly, and it becomes part of your toolkit. In fact, you could just record this once without saying the person's name. And I could do, hey, it's Tyler from Vidyard here. I wanted to share a really quick story about Kyle, who is a head of revenue, similar to you, right? And then you deliver it. And that's something you could send to a bunch of your tier 2, tier 3 prospects. But those tier 1s, you record a version of it custom for them. So another idea there to leverage all those great customer stories you have. This can be a really great mid-cadence kind of video, not necessarily your first one, but one you send later on day 10, 15, or as you get into that sort of 10 to 20 day period in your cadence. Okay. Number 6, folks, I told you we got a lot in here because some of them are going to work for you, some aren't, but I want to make sure you've got too many ideas to walk away with. The next one, which I know our own team does quite successfully, are videos when one of your prospects has some kind of news or milestone, right? So you're probably monitoring for some of that. And again, you might be already sending them an email or something when you see them in the news. But why not send them a video actually, saying it, right? Being personal about it. So if that company has recently won an award, or you get a notification because you're following them that they just got, run an award, or they hit some milestone, or they're acquiring somebody, record a quick video congratulating them, right? It could be a webcam video there. Braden has, written top 50 workplaces, way to go league, right? And he just uses that as a way to congratulate them and then say, as you continue to grow, as you obviously will, we've got some ideas on how we could help. But it may just be a nice touch point. There may not even be an ask to follow up. It may just be a relationship building exercise. Or you can do a screen share like on the bottom left. Doesn't look super pretty, but if I'm prospecting Thinking Capital and they just announce an acquisition, they'll recognize that article. And again, it's a really quick opportunity for me to say, congrats, really interesting. And by the way, as you integrate them or as this happens, I've got some ideas about how we could help. And I would love to follow up or get your feedback. So similar idea. You can kind of work your own scripts depending on how they play into what you do. But it's a great one that, those trigger moments, record and send a video, and it builds your rapport. And they don't always have to have an ask, right? Sometimes they can be just a very genuine congrats. Really excited for you guys. Hope to work with you someday. We'll be back in touch soon. What do you think, Katie? You like that one?
I love this one. So I posted on LinkedIn maybe a couple weeks ago. I am a huge fan of doing things that are kind of out of the ordinary. I love handwritten thank you cards. I have sent, oddly, I don't like to be on video. And so I've definitely done cameos for people before, or like
Yep.
virtual gift cards or virtual letters. Like, I'm a big fan of that. But
Yep.
I also think whenever you're looking at not just, I think for SMB and mid-market, yeah, there's like some startups that you can do a lot of this with. But if you're looking especially at enterprise level sales where you're taking, 8 to 12 months for a deal to close,
Yeah.
celebrating these changes in businesses' careers or lives is huge. Oh, you brought on a new IT director. Let's say you're selling into universities and you're working on a big enterprise deal. Oh my gosh, your guys' football team just won Big
Yep.
12 or national championship or whatever that is. People appreciate that, and that's kind of going that extra mile. So I'm a huge fan of this.
Awesome. Katie, we're going to get you over the video hurdle. Next, I want you to start tracking Vidyard in your news feeds. And next time we have some kind of cool announcement. In fact, earlier today, just today, Katie, this is perfect for you. We announced a great integration with Slack, where right inside of Slack, you can type /Vidyard and record and send a video inside of Slack. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, Katie, is to send me a video later today congratulating Vidyard on this amazing new integration. And I'm going to let you know how you did. And I bet you're going to do amazing.
Thanks. I need to get myself one of these little whiteboards.
There you go. The little things. And I may also ask you to do a cameo video for me for one of my customers. I'll let them know Katie Ray has a message for you. And they'll be like,
I love that. So, and honestly, kind of ties in perfectly. So Greg just asked a really good question. Whenever we become proficient on Vidyard, how quickly can we pump these videos out?
It's funny. There's such a range of depending on who you are and your situation. There's some people who they say, yeah, I make a few videos a week just for really important prospects. And it's something that is sort of an exception, not the rule. And there are others who literally record hundreds of videos a week, like literally. But you think, oh my God, how can they do that?
Yeah.
You probably send hundreds of emails a week. I know you do, right? I know a lot of you sellers do. I get a lot of them. But the reality is, and this is why I'm teaching you this idea of these templates, because if every time you make a video, it's something new and different and it feels like it's not going to be efficient and effective for you. But when you land on 4 or 5 of these templates and you go, great, I'm going to make a LinkedIn hover video. I'm going to make a news congrats video. I'm going to make an article video, right? They become really natural and they no longer feel like work. They're like, you do it, you hit record, it takes you 1 or 2 takes and you're done, right? So it's literally a minute or 2 to get that video done once you've done that initial research. So they don't have to take a long time. And once you get, practice makes perfect, like with anything. The other tip I'll give you on that is, which some of you have commented for myself, and I think Katie's got a great setup there as well, is get a setup that you feel confident, comfortable, and frankly excited to create videos. If you're in a space where you're like, my lighting sucks, and I'm like, I don't know, and there's noise, I don't want to make a video, right? It's not going to work. But this is actually one of the benefits I'm finding for those of you who are working at home now due to the pandemic, is that if you've got a spot you can call your own, it's like you've got your own private office now. You can make phone calls, you can be as loud as you want. You can make videos, right? You can get your lighting the way you want it. You can get soup up your camera, right? Like, I don't want to go back in the office now because I've got this awesome setup here at home now. When I'm in the office, I'm like, I don't want to make a video. There's somebody beside me. It's going to be weird, but embrace that, right? If you have that opportunity, set yourself up for success, and it makes such a difference. And then when you're confident and you have these templates, this stuff just cranks. It just cranks, like making a phone call, leaving a voicemail, right? It just becomes second nature.
Well, I was just about to say, whenever you're talking about these templates, I feel like so many of us can relate whenever we're picking up the phone for cold calling, right? We've got the phone ringing as we're looking up that person's LinkedIn to try and find like 1 or 2 personal things. That's just like what we're doing, right? Is here, we've got our template. We know we've got our shtick. We know what we're going to say. I'm looking at the 2 or 3 pieces of information, right, my whiteboard, toss it up. We're good, whatever it looks like. But you can kind of pump them out pretty quick too. So
yeah, and that's the idea of the whiteboard, right? That's why that has become such a thing, because I can like wipe, right, record, wipe, right, record. And by the way, if I've got 10 different people named Katie on my prospect list, I'm going to record a message for Katie. I'm going to send it to all 10 of them. Don't tell the other Katies that it wasn't for them, okay?
That explains. No.
All right, Katie, I template number 7 for you and everybody else. Yes, make sure they are spelled the same, or else you can get yourself in hot water. Okay, the solution show and tell. Now, I know. When you're prospecting, it should be about them, not about you. You don't want to pitch product. You want to pitch value, 100%. But there absolutely can be a time and place to show somebody a teaser of how it is your solution could actually work for them. Now, this may not work for everybody, depending on your product or service, but I encourage you to think about, again, mid or later stage in your cadence, is there an opportunity to have something quick on screen to actually show them? I know as somebody who gets prospected a lot, I actually appreciate these because I'm not taking your call. I know you out there, I'm not taking your call. But if you sent me a video that like in a minute gave me a really quick teaser of what you actually do, I just might forward that to somebody on my team who it's most relevant for. And if you're 1 in 10, I might actually respond directly to you. But it allows me on my own time to really quickly get a sense for, is this relevant or not? Right? You can say all you want, but seeing is believing. This is such a phenomenal example. Now, again, this gentleman has an advantage because their product is very visual. But what he does, so this is from a company called Chili Piper. Some of you may know them. Chili Piper is a great calendaring solution that's not just for individual calendaring, but also on your website and scheduling meetings. And what he'll do is he'll actually go to your website if he's prospecting you, and then he'll show you how you could take your traditional crappy form and like thank you and wait for feedback into what would it look like if you actually had Chili Piper powering that. And I won't show this video because we're tight on time. But what he actually does is in his video, again, he's got your website up, and then he's actually got a little mock-up created, and he's made this repeatable that he'll actually show you with a shot of your website. Now when I click this button, instead of a crappy thank you very much, we'll call you to book a time, this is the widget that would show up. And then you see that widget hovering over top of your website. And it's really powerful because you immediately get it in the context of your service. Now, again, he sells tools that integrate with your website, so he's got an advantage. But think about in your own case, what can I show them? Just like in 30 to 60 seconds, what's that little thing that would make them go, oh, this looks cool, I need to see more. And that can be great. And again, you don't have to recreate the wheel every time. You come up with it once and you figure it out, and then that becomes a part of your cadence, and you master recording that 30 to 90 second version of that one little sneak peek at that awesome feature you have. So figure that out, figure out what your coolest thing is that everybody goes, oh, that's so great, and get used to recording a really quick video showing it and send it to people. See what they think. Ask them for feedback. Don't ask them for a call. Ask them for feedback and see what happens. And yes, KISS, as we all know, keep it short, seller. These ones can get really long because you want to show everything. Don't, right? Practice it, spend an hour getting used to it. And then once you nail it, you got that 90-second video you can do over and over again. Okay, we're almost there, folks. This one I also love, where if your organization is hosting a webinar, an event of some sort, something that has a milestone date to it, record a video inviting people to it. And this is one where you can just record one and send it out to lots of your prospects, or you can do customized ones for individual people that you really want to engage and get them out to that webinar or that event. So you can do this again with a webcam. You can do it with a screen share where maybe you're hovering over the event page or the webinar page. The one there, I don't know, I made this creepy video, Katie, where my bubble is actually over top of my face in the graphic and I'm talking. Somebody said it was like very like Harry Potter, like the pictures on the wall, where it's like all of a sudden the one face starts talking. It was actually pretty neat. But there's different ways that you can do that. So again, a great idea, instead of just going out and inviting customers to a webinar or a virtual event, record a video, right? Reach out to them, make it very customized, make them feel special. And then they might even respond to you and saying, I can't make it, but I'd love to chat further.
So question for you, once we send the video, who owns it? Do we still have access to it if we want it, or how does that work?
So as a seller, when you send the video, be mindful that when you send it, what you're sending is a link to watch that video on a hosted page. And so, that is in your own library on the back end. If you have to like take that video down because something went wrong, you can delete that video, remove it. And when they click to watch, they won't see it, right? So you ultimately have that control over it. In Vidyard, you actually can, in some instances, replace the video. If you were like, oh no, I got to change something, So little things like that you can be mindful of. But no, it's your video. It's hosted on a page. It's always streamed. You're never sending the actual file. So you eliminate any of those risks. Yeah. Okay. Almost there, folks. The best is yet to come. Hold on. Number 9 is, this one I love. Our reps do this as well, is recording a video over top or to explain or to share one of your own favorite resources, a blog post, an article that you read, something that you think would be helpful to somebody. So we talked earlier about going over an article that maybe one of your prospects wrote or shared. This is the case, this is the inverse, where, and what our reps will often do is when we publish a new blog post, they'll pull up that blog post, they'll record a quick video over top of it and highlight something on the screen that they think is of interest, right? They'll be like, oh, that's a really cool point, I like that. They'll record a quick video saying, hey, it's Tyler here. I just want to share, we just released this really awesome article that talks about this. And one of my favorite points in here is this. They'll draw a little thing around it. They'll highlight it. And then they'll say, I thought you might be interested in it. I've included the link, check it out. And if you've got feedback, let me know. And so sometimes they'll just record one version of that and then send it to a bunch of their prospects. And then the next time a blog post goes out, they'll do the same thing. And in some cases, they'll post those videos to their LinkedIn profile as well as just a general share to their community. And then when they've got a really important prospect, they'll do a custom version of it and say, hey, Katie, we just posted this great article and I know that you are going to love this part right here. You should go check it out. Now, they're not all going to actually click on the link and go and read the blog post or read the article. But even them just watching you quickly highlight some takeaways, right, has a big impact and creates rapport. So again, it's a template. You can do this over and over again with interesting articles, with blog posts you're publishing, and so on. And the last template, before I show you some really wild non-templates, is the pre-meeting or post-meeting video. Now, when you're prospecting, you finally got that meeting booked. My last piece of advice is before the meeting, send them a quick video to highlight the goals of the meeting and how they can come best prepared to make sure it's the most productive conversation possible. In some cases, it will help make sure it is a productive meeting, but in other cases, all you're doing is just reinforcing and putting your personality out there and reducing your chance that they won't show up. Time and time again, I hear sellers say, my attendance rates go up when I've sent them videos beforehand. And I think it's because of that guilt factor. It's like you're reminding them, I'm a real human, right? I've got a life too. This is my time as well, and it really works. You can do that again post-meeting as well, where you can send a recap. Here's the things we discussed. This is the next steps. Excited to move forward, right? They're just little things that build rapport as you go and make you much more than just any other seller. They make you a real person.
I love this idea of a pre-meeting video. I've always been a big fan of agenda setting and
Right.
always sending like a reminder, 30 minutes before with an agenda of, hey, this is what I'm planning on covering based off of our conversation and based off the issues you're having with this, and this. What else would you like to see added? And I totally agree with you that if you have that video, you have that human aspect. And it's like, they can't say no to you, right? Like
Yeah.
you're really hoping, like, please, you wouldn't want someone to say no to your child.
Yep. Yep.
Have that emotional to it.
Yeah. And especially now when we don't have many of those moments to even have a live Zoom call or meet them face to face, these little touch points really matter. So again, there's not really any reason not to, other than if you feel like, it's too much work or it's going to take too much time. But again, once it just becomes a part of your process, it's not a time sink. It's actually quite the opposite. And it can be very freeing and liberating because they can be very quick and easy to make.
Well, and that's where all the value is, right? Because it does take time a little bit and it does take a little bit more effort on your part as a rep.
Yep.
That's why it's different. And that's what's going to set you apart and get you more of those win rates that you need.
The best thing is they usually think it took you like half an hour to make that video.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. They made me a video, right? But yeah, it's like, no, actually this took me, 3 minutes and works really well. I wanted to leave you all with a few examples of non-templated emails and ideas about how to get creative to really stand out with key accounts. And I just want to share a few examples with you. I know we just got a couple minutes left here. But this is one example. Frankie, whatever it takes, Weschler, one of my favorite sellers. He works at Dynamic Signal. Last year, he was one of our award winners for the Buffalo Wild Wings video he did, where he was prospecting into Buffalo Wild Wings, the actual organization. And so he figured out, how can I actually make them pay attention? He went down, he bought their hottest wings, and he did his pitch on camera eating what's called their blazing wings, which are like ridiculously hot. And so he bites into it. He's like welling up. He's crying. And he delivers his pitch. And he sent them the video and said, to show you how committed I am, I wanted to pitch you while eating your hottest plays and wings. Not only did he book the meeting, but that video got watched by like over 150 people in that account because it went viral because it was so fun and so interesting. He then did one this year. We're judging right now for our 2020 award winners. And I suspect he's going to be a finalist where he was prospecting Vail, who is the organization that owns a lot of ski resorts and things like that. So he went on to one of their terrain parks and recorded a prospecting video while he was going down the hill on one of their terrain hills. Again, it stood out. They responded and he booked that meeting, which he couldn't do otherwise. Super cool idea. So that's where, again, you take your prospect and go, what would be interesting to them? How could I bring their brand to life in different ways? Depends on what you sell. You may be able to do fun things like that. This was another great one from our awards this year where this company was prospecting TikTok as an organization. And they had a bunch of their employees record TikTok style videos. And then they pulled them together into this awesome little montage and they made them this little landing page and they sent it to them. And it was wild. It was amazing. But it was like, how else would you prospect TikTok? Obviously you send them TikTok style videos and it worked like a charm. It was a huge hit. I got to show you this one though, really quick. Chris Van Prague at BabbleQuest. This is probably the favorite sales video I have ever seen. Chris, you are such a boss. Folks, this is the last video I'm going to show you here, but check this out. Now, he's got some video editing skills that all of you need to step up and figure out how to do something like this yourselves as well. Here we go.
Okay, so if you want to share your screen, you just have to click that button there, and then you have to say, can you see my screen? What if you don't say that? Well, they definitely won't be able to see your screen. Oh, hello. You just caught me teaching old me a little bit about how Zoom works.
It's so great, can't believe it'd be repetitive.
Yeah, well, anyway, alongside Zoom, old me has been spending quite a lot of time in HubSpot Academy, learning all the cool things that you can do on the platform and all things inbound marketing.
Yeah, free to access for anyone who wants to learn new skills and grow their career.
Yeah, it is pretty great. Well, it's worth mentioning that on July the 10th, this is happening. It's World Certification Day, a one-day event dedicated to learning and development. And if you get a certification...
That is awesome.
All right, I'm just going to leave it there, right? And if you don't have a twin, I don't think Chris has a twin. I think he's green screened this. It's so great, right? Now, not all of you can do this. You're not like video editing gurus. You don't have green screens and stuff, but it just shows the creativity, right? He made this once. He sent it to all sorts of his prospects to drive them to their certification day event that they were having. And how could you not? Like after watching this, I'm like, I want to show up just to meet Chris. Like what a boss, right? Anyways, a last example of just, again, how you can get creative with video to really stand out. I'll leave this up here for you guys to screen capture because I know we're out of time here. But these are my recommendations for subject lines, what to think about, ideas for how to position your intro copy to make sure people actually watch your videos. So feel free to grab a quick screen grab of some examples here. And again, if you want a copy of this deck, connect with me on LinkedIn afterwards, and I'm happy to send it to you. So that's it, Katie. Again, this is my last follow-on resources slide in the last minute. I know we don't have much time for question and answer here. But feel free to, if you want to keep learning about this, we just released an awesome new video selling masterclass online. You can check that out. It's free to access. There's the link. You can get going with Vidyard if you're not using it already. And we do have a Cyber Monday deal going on where if you end up buying our Teams package, our actual business package, we're offering 15% off if you buy by the end of the year. So there's a link to go check out that offer as well. And as I said, connect with me on LinkedIn. If you want a copy of the slides, if you have any other questions I wasn't able to answer here, and we can take it up from there. Katie, in our last minute or so, back over to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tyler. I know everyone really appreciated it. Thank you, all of our attendees. Once again, you're going to get the recording within 24 hours. And if you want a copy of the slides, go message Tyler. If you are still dying to know, I know we didn't get to it, but if you're still dying to know what his setup is, don't forget, message him.
Yeah. I'll post on LinkedIn. I'll do a post about my video setup here. Connect with me and then you'll find it.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, I think we're good. I know we're also appreciative. I know I learned so much. I'm excited to hear from everybody. Post on LinkedIn. How has your video been going? What's that, response rate been like? At least open rates. And so Thank you again so much, Tyler, and I'll let everyone have a great day. We'll talk soon.
Bye, guys.